What's up, team? All right, today we're learning about cement. This is the third time I'm trying to record this video, and it is the last time I will be trying to record this video. So today I'm taking a longboard ride, and I went through my neighborhood here today. Now I've been sitting out here for probably 20 minutes or so, and I've been looking up why why concrete has rocks. Now take a moment to look at this concrete. You can see that every one of those little white spots is a rock. So they're very well defined. If you take a look at this concrete, you might be a little bit hard pressed to see the rocks. You can see little blotches, maybe darkness here or there. And that, I'm afraid, is a piece of gum. But if you look really close, you'll start to see, you'll start to see the rocks. They're there. They're just really tiny. So I started wondering, why does this concrete up here have such larger rocks? Really have a diameter of maybe a centimeter, half a centimeter to a centimeter. And why does this one have diameters of rocks so small? I asked Google that question probably for about 30 minutes, and it gave me some information about the types of rocks. It didn't give me too much about sizes, but I found a little bit of information that I found quite interesting. I think you will too. So there's three of the most popular types of rocks used for concrete production are granite, limestone, and basalt. Now, I have no idea what type of those rocks is used in either of these, but I'm gonna guess that this is granite because of the fact that it's bright and kind of crystalline when you saw the little rocks there. Limestone can be used to increase the porosity, or the ability for water to flow through concrete to relieve roads of water flooding. And that got me wondering if limestone is exclusively used for increasing the absorption of water through concrete. You know, as we are moving into 2024 here, I've definitely heard of developments in increasing the absorption of water to concrete, and I was curious, is that only due to limestone, or are there other strategies? And in searching up that question, I found out how limestone is used most prominently in concrete. And it's not how I was expecting. It's not that just putting limestone chunks in a road will make water flow through it. I got a lot of information about how limestone is actually the most common calcium source to create the glue that is used in concrete, that glue being called cement. So if we go all the way back to the beginning of having no concrete at all and needing to make this sidewalk or this road, you might be asking yourself, well, I have a lot of rocks, I have a lot of little rocks, I have a lot of big rocks, but how do I actually turn it into something that is sturdy, secure, able to sustain weight, and also doesn't flake off in a bunch of chunks and little rocks when you scratch it? So that's where you need the glue, or the cement, to hold all of the rocks or aggregate together. So how do you make that glue? Well, what it starts with is limestone. So you would have some limestone that you could toss into a kiln. You would also take some silica that you could toss into a kiln, and you would light both of those up. So in your kiln, you have a little bit of limestone, you have a little bit of silica, and you make them really, really hot. As they heat up and as they are mixed together in the kiln, there's going to be a reaction that takes place both within the limestone and also between the limestone and the silica. And that reaction that's going to take place is going to release some carbon dioxide. So you know it's actually happening because it's going to be off-gassing carbon dioxide. And the other thing it's going to do is it's going to form something known as calcium oxide from the limestone. And there's probably going to be something else formed between the calcium oxide and the silica, and just some things that are beyond my pay grade occur within that reaction. But in the end, you produce a certain amount of something that I'm forgetting the name of, but it's a mixture of heated limestone and silica. And then after you have that, you grind it down really, really, really thin. And that is now something that you add something to it, and I can't remember. Man, I can't remember what it is that you add to it. You're supposed to... I can't remember what you add to it. It's something, it's maybe a different rock. Hey, how you doing? What's up? You are beautiful. What's their name?
Dottie.
Dottie, you are precious. Oh my gosh. How are you? Hi, Dottie.
Hi, Daddy.
Thanks for the blessing. I appreciate it.
Nice to sneak up on people.
Have a good day.
Come on, baby. Good girl. Nope, no. Good. Yeah,
Have a good one. Thanks. So once you have the aggregate, or you have the mixture of silica and limestone, you need to add something to it, and I'm not familiar with what exactly you add to it. It's not water yet. I think you're supposed to add, something else. Oh man, I don't want to pause this video. Sorry guys. Oh, okay, so creating cement, which is the glue, is like a process of taking really small things, heating them up, and then adding bigger things and bigger things and bigger things. So you're gonna take the small limestone and silica and heat it up in a kiln. You're gonna then grind it down really, really small. Then you're going to add sand to that. And then you're gonna add, and the reason you're gonna add sand is so that you have something sturdy. You're also adding strength, resilience, and just mass to your mixture, because you don't need it to be all glue. You need something hard inside. Once you added enough sand, then you go to the bigger thing, which is probably going to be small pebbles or small pieces of rock, maybe that granite we talked about earlier, maybe chunks of limestone or basalt, and or really more like gravel. Forget those three rocks I just said, more like gravel. And then you can add even larger chunks of gravel if you'd like, depending on whatever resilience standards you need for your concrete. And what happens is you take the water at the site of your construction, and you add the water to this mixture we just talked about. And as soon as the water is added, it reacts with the fine crushed grinded powder that we talked about before, that was made of limestone and silica, and is now its own thing. When it reacts with the water, it creates a new compound entirely called calcium silica hydrates, and those combine to make a structure or a molecule. For example, I think it's something like 2 calciums, 4 silicons, and like 4 waters or something, or 4 oxygens. Is that right? No, is it hydrogens? I'm forgetting in this moment, actually. I think it's hydrogens. And I believe it's CSH, but I'm forgetting in this moment. But anyway, you make a molecule, and then that molecule binds to the other molecules of itself, and eventually you have a large structure of these molecules that are very tightly bound to one another, and that's how you create a new structure, because you took something that was wet, which is water, and you took something that was just like powder, which is the limestone and the silica, and when you mix them together, they go from being powdery and wet to forming an entirely new molecule with entirely different properties. The properties being that they bind to each other, and you create a hard surface. Because the water you could say the water disappears, but really what you want to say is the water turns into or combines with something else to form an entirely new thing. That entirely new thing is concrete. It's like a rock. So that is how you make this. Thanks for sticking through it with me, folks. Appreciate it. Have a good day.